Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Front Row Negative, the podcast. We are back again. We're back on a good track now. We skipped a few weeks and we came back, and then we skipped another few weeks. We came back, and everybody's recovering now, so we're good to go. But we're back. I'm your host, Aaron, and I'm joined by
Dayman. Fighter of the night, man. That's me, Chris, by the way.
I'm hoping that you started listening to their podcast.
No, I didn't know they had a podcast, to be honest with you.
They do. It's the three guys, no D, and it's great. It's really good.
No goddamn bird.
No goddamn bird.
Do they offer me a rum ham in this trying times as I've missed out apparently?
Yes, and spaghetti in a bag as well.
Yes. Excellent.
So we are back, but we are joined by somebody today. Now, this is actually kind of funny because I've been trying to get this guy on for months now. Things happen. Life gets in the way. Life finds a way. Life goes into the Force, comes back out, joins the dark side, gets killed off again, gets recut by Lucas, comes back out, gets re-released, and here he is. So we finally got the voice of Mulehorn. I'm messing up. Mulehorn Gaming. Wade is here. How you doing, sir?
What's up, man? How's it going?
You got them all excited, man.
I felt like first of her name, like from freaking Game of Thrones, man.
Pretty much.
Poner of noobs.
Yeah.
Napper of dads.
Bagger of teas.
Bagger of teas. Slayer of troopers.
Yeah, there you go.
But it has been a journey to get you on here, and it hasn't been an easy one.
That's true. That's true, my man.
Been booked up for months, man.
Yeah.
Hey, life finds a way.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
But no, like originally when we started doing the podcast again, I wanted to get all the people that who are part of the Nerd Foo group, like the big group of all the fellows. So like, we had Sully on, we've had Dwayne on, we've had all these people on. And I'm like, okay, I still got to get Wade on because he's up there. I got to get him on. And you're busy. Things happen. You're busy, and here you finally are.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to finally have you on.
Thanks, man. I'm glad I could finally come. Like it's crazy. It's like having a full-time job, and then you're hustling for podcasts on the side. Which at the time I was doing 3. I've cut it down to 2. So and for kiddos, and it's so streaming, and it sometimes you're like, man, I need a nap.
Yeah, I get that feeling. I just replaced the Ford podcast. For me, it's graphic design and like logo work as my side hustle. For Chris there, he's a comic artist. So he's doing freelance gigs, comic art, comic book cover art, sketch cards. You name it, he's doing it.
All day, every day, man.
All day, every day. Yeah.
Also, perception is reality. Like, if you give off the perception that you're a very busy, important person,
mm-hmm.
and not implying that you're not, but like I'm saying, this podcast, my anticipation is at an all-time peak level. So don't let me down. That's all I'm saying.
I guess some big shoes to fill, I guess, right?
Pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. But yeah, today was a busy day, I think. For us, because before we recorded, every year around this time, our group FRN, like our not the people who have been on the show, but other people that are a part of the group, for the last several years, we have done this thing called the Royal Rumble Raffle. And if you know what the Royal Rumble is, that's the big WWE pay-per-view. 30 men into the ring, one person leaves, they get the title shot. Well,
it's the Thunderdome, bitch.
We've turned that into a raffle drawing, to where we draw numbers. And that's our pick. And if that person who draws that number, that entrant wins on the pay-per-view, we win a prize pack and cash prizes and everything. And we've been doing that for the last, I think, 4 or 5 years. Every year we do it and we get together and watch it. And so we literally did the number pulls right before we started recording here tonight. So it was a big rush. It was a big rush to get that done, to get on the recording, to do this.
So every time someone wins, do you have to go, oh yeah?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I go to Aaron's house and I kick in the door and I'm throwing Kool-Aid everywhere. Oh yeah! He's like, dude, fucking again?
Hey,
yeah, bitch, Tropical Thunder. Wow.
Slip into a Slim Jim.
I got the Slim Jim Macho Man right here.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the Kool-Aid Man.
Well, that too.
They're like cousins, right?
Snapping to diabetes. Oh yeah.
Well, speaking of diabetes, so what are y'all drinking tonight? We'll just take a page out of 3 Beers and a Mike's book. What are y'all drinking?
Well, if you're going with me, I'm recovering from the vid, as some of you guys know. So it's just little water and lemonade. So
no blue milk.
Yeah, no blue milk tonight. No.
No banter talk.
Oh man. I was about to say you let me down with I was wondering what you're having and yabbing over there.
Although I got to say that Bucky's cup is pretty strong, bro.
It is.
So is the Dunkin' Donuts original blend with a little bit of coffee creamer that is of the chocolate and caramel persuasion. But yeah, it's that's how you know it's quality.
That Bucky's metal tumbler. I mean, that's
right.
That's good. So speaking of diabetes, I tried one of these the other day, the Monster Coffees flavor stuff.
Oh,
I
you're
love
a brave
them.
man.
No, they're good. They don't have that Monster soda taste afterwards. Because
Really?
okay, I'll be honest. I love Monsters mainly for the energy and for the caffeine kick.
Sure.
But that aftertaste tastes like pool water. It tastes like you went swimming in a pool and you gulped a little bit of it. It has that pool water taste. And
I can co-sign
hint
on
of
that.
chlorine and maybe a little bit of pee and
a little bit. And I've always hated that. So the other day I got a coupon for a free Monster Mocha, like the Mocha Loco coffee monster thing, a free one. Tried it. It was delicious.
Wow.
It didn't have that pool water aftertaste. Didn't have it.
All right, man. I'm gonna have you know that I'm gonna grab one tomorrow morning on the way to work.
And then I tried the Mean Bean, the Monster Mean Bean. Same thing, has that strong coffee taste, no pool water. So now I've got what is this one? The Irish blend. So I mean, hey, St. Patrick's Day is coming up. I'm just prepping, getting ready for it.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Don't be so damn defensive, man. Enjoy your coffee. Shit.
I am. Monster coffee. It's delicious. We are not sponsored by Monster, and I am not a due partner. So just throwing that out there.
Not yet.
Not yet. They send me free stuff every so often, as long as I don't wear the wrong hoodie in the video. Apparently, that everybody has pointed out.
Shit? Where's my free shit?
Sir, I drink Pepsi and Mountain Dew a lot. They reckon,
right.
Game recognizes game.
Diabetes.
And diabetes recognizes diabetes.
Right.
So, no, in the last video I did for the Pepsi unboxing video for the Cracker Jack Pepsi,
Mm-hmm.
apparently I didn't realize it until midway filming the video. I'm wearing a Coca-Cola hoodie.
Oops.
And the logo is right there in the video. And I look down and see, and I try to cover it up, but I'm already halfway through the video. So
oh, man.
I just kind of went with it. And apparently everybody has a lot of people have pointed that out to me. I've gotten like at least 7 messages or things. Hey, you're wearing a Coke hoodie. You're not gonna be a due partner now. So
somebody's like, if you were drinking Java Monster coffee, you'd have not made that mistake, sir.
Yeah, that's probably true. That is probably true.
Yeah.
That's probably so. We normally start the show off with what are you playing, what are you watching, what are you reading, or what are you listening to, as a way to kind of jump into a guest on here. But really, because it's Wade, there's really only one show that people are watching. And
oh yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest. It's Book of Boba Fett.
It is.
I mean, if there was a living embodiment of the Jedi Temple housing of records, it would be you. It would definitely be you.
I'm the Jedi archivist, I guess you could say.
Pretty much. I know I've asked you several questions.
The picture Aaron's painting of you, it's almost like he wanted to call you the Mandalore.
Dude, okay, so I gotta tell this backstory. Now, I've been watching Star Wars probably since as far back as I can remember, and that goes all the way back to, some of you guys may not know this, but I don't know. Some of you guys are pretty close to my age, so used to a long time ago. There's these things called an RCA Laserdisc, right? And there were these big, huge discs that you would just slide in and pull this lever down to watch, your movie.
Yep.
And my dad had one of those, and what he had on there was New Hope. At least that's what it was called originally, was New Hope. Star Wars.
What?
And so, me and my brother, I had an older brother, we would literally watch that thing on repeat all day and have like quote wars. Who could quote scenes and say, okay, at this scene, what does he say at this scene? So that like grew my love affair with Star Wars. Plus, I was a farm kid. I grew up on the farm, so I everything that Luke was kind of like the way I grew up.
Oh, I was
you
about to say, are you a moisture farmer?
dude, carton farmer, so it's pretty close, right?
You're out there hanging out by the dirt road. And there's a fucking
dude.
wagon pulling up. Somebody's listening to Alabama Roll On Highway.
There's nothing to do, man. Like it was literally
Jimmy
like
Jawa trying to sell you a broken down piece of shit.
yeah. I would like
Tractor
grab
or something?
sticks to pretend I had lightsabers and read books and like play outside all day because that's all I had, and watch Star Wars.
And you're like,
And-
I had an aunt and uncle that lived out there with me, but their whole fucking barn burned down.
Yeah. I mean, one time, no, but like so. That grew my love affair with Star Wars, and it always just really registered with me, like on so many levels,
That's awesome.
from entertainment, spiritual levels, to just
Oh man,
loving everything on it. Just loving everything, the storytelling, the battle between good and evil, and so like I can't remember a time I didn't like Star Wars, and now my wife jokes and she goes, "This time was made for you." Because it's just all Star Wars.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
you're in the right time for pretty much almost every fandom now is just expanding. I mean, Star Wars is blowing up. Disney's a big blowing up just with the cartoons and animations. Comic books are blowing up. Comic book movies, TV shows, those are blowing up.
Yep.
And even if you're like a horror fan, series are coming back. Sequels are happening. Reboots are happening. The current age is a good time to be a fan of anything because everything's just expanding, and it's great.
Well, it feels like almost like the 90s all over again with pop culture. Like pop culture is like the big thing now. It's like collectibles and movie references and the clothing and things like that. It's like everything that was cool when we were kids is cool again. So like all the comics we watched, like the OG Spider-Man comics.
Yeah.
It's all coming back with its own little flavor, right? But it
definitely is.
It's like it's cool to be able to sit down with my kids and me remembering, watching New Hope and having them watch New Hope for the first time too.
Yes.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, definitely. And I like for me, I know. Okay, so like basically, my daughter has formed this giant love of Star Wars, and I'll kind of go back and retouch on what happened. So basically, I tried to get her into Star Wars like years ago because I remember whenever it was either TBS or TNT would run episodes 4, 5, and 6 repeat. They would do like marathons of them over a weekend or even a week. They would just run them. And my daughter Gwen was kind of like, "Nah, I don't like it. It's boring. I don't like it. It's boring." And I'm like, "Okay, fine. We don't have to watch it," because I was never really big into Star Wars either. I have friends who try to get me into it, and I'm like, "Nah, I'll play the games, but I'm not into it. I'm not that big into it."
It's not a game you're in.
It could be. So we ended up getting Disney Plus, like pretty much half the continent did. We ended up getting Disney Plus, and of course, Mandalorian season 1 debuts. And I think this happens. I think before the final movie, episode 9 comes out.
Yeah, so the Mandalorian takes place a few years after Return of the Jedi.
No, I don't mean like it was released like before episode 9. Yeah. So what ends up happening is that me and my wife, we start watching Mandalorian, and we're like, okay, this is pretty good. We get through the first 2 episodes, it's pretty good. We're like, okay, this is a good show. I'm liking it. Her dad comes and visits us, and her dad's a big Star Wars fan too. And we're like, hey, and he's like, hey, is there like a new Star Wars thing on? And he's intrigued, like, hey, let's watch it. Gwen from the background, boring.
Oh,
so like, okay, whatever, whatever. So we watched the first episode, not knowing that she's like peeking around the corner watching everything. So then we're like, we asked her dad, like, hey, do you want to watch episode? Do you want a second episode? And he's like, yeah, sure, we could keep watching it. And Gwen's like, yeah, let's watch it. I'm like, hey, I thought you hated Star Wars. No, not too much. Not too much.
It has begun.
So she sat down and watched it, and of course, like everybody else, Baby Yoda at the time, the name Baby Yoda.
Yep.
That's what she fell in love with. She was like, Baby Yoda is the greatest. Is the thing. And since then, she became hooked. So we would watch episodically Mandalorian. I introduced her to all the movies. We watched all the movies, including the ones that people don't like. It took us a long time to watch Rebels because of how long that series was. Not Rebels, Clone Wars.
Clone Wars. Yeah, that's
because
like
how
a
long
lot
that
of seasons.
We watched all of it together.
Yep.
We watched Rebels. All
Worth
through.
it.
Right now we're watching Resistance.
Yeah.
to get through that. But yeah, she's loving everything Star Wars. So basically our usual thing now is Wednesday nights. She rushes home. She finishes her homework. We watch Book of Boba Fett now.
Yes.
We have to watch it.
Man, that's awesome.
So speaking, like you mentioned, watching it with your kids and everything. The greatest thing that happened was when we were watching, Empire Strikes Back, the scene, the big reveal. And if you've ever seen a little girl's brain explode because of what happened, that's what happened. Because her mouth popped open. She looked at me. She looked back at the screen, looked back at me, and she goes, "No." I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "No."
No.
Yeah. Like,
Right.
So,
dubbed in Mandarin. Me no like.
Dude, that twist is just so freaking good.
oh, it's great for little kids. It's great for
yeah.
little kids. It's the best. But yeah, she's in love with it now. So every time there's like a new Star Wars pen that we look on Disney, we go look on DisneyShop.com. Every time there's a new update or a trailer, we go watch it. So she's all about everything. Bad Batch.
that's
We've watched the
awesome.
Bad Batch 3 times.
Oh yeah, Omega.
We've watched it 3 times. So
Yeah.
it's been great. It's been a lot of fun.
I heard Chopper's quite a hoot.
Chopper is one of my faves.
Chopper's probably Gwen's favorite droid because
He is sassy, man.
Because everybody tells me he was like, he's always mad about everything all the time.
Yeah.
He's the grumpy old man.
He's get off my lawn. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly.
That's like
what
our
he
dog, Jacob.
Yeah.
He's a grumpy little bastard too. That's funny.
is.
I mean, if Clint Eastwood was a droid, he'd be Chopper.
So I gotta ask you, how did she respond when it went to Jedi Knights with Kanan?
Oh, I mean, Chris,
When
have you seen Rebels or no?
No, I haven't had a chance to yet, man. I'm still fighting the strong power that is YouTube paranormal and true crime videos most of the time. So
hey, fair enough. So Gwen got really sad.
Keep it vague.
Gwen got really sad when Kanan could see again.
Oh yeah,
She got really sad.
yeah. That hit the feels.
She got even sadder when the ending happened between Ezra and Thrawn. She got sadder with that.
I feel so left out.
But she was really happy to see the son. She was happy to see the son.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah.
And
I know Ahsoka and Darth Vader fight each other in a pyramid.
Yes, they do.
I know that's a thing.
That's a pretty epic fight too.
And that's explained more in Rebels as well.
I've seen some of that, but not all of it.
But she enjoyed all that. She loved that show. And what made her pop out was, I guess, when you played Squadrons, Star Wars Squadrons, the video game, Hera's there. Hera's on screen.
Yep.
So she was like, "Oh, I want to play that now too. Oh, these controls suck, but I want to play."
You can tell her she's in Hera's name is in Rogue One, and so is Chopper. Chopper's both. They're both in Rogue One. So
they are.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, they're
Where's
in there.
Chopper in Rogue One?
When they're calling out over the loudspeakers when they're at the base, and they're running into the base, you can see Chopper going across the screen.
Yep.
God damn it, Disney.
Well,
dig too deep.
Good at that.
Well, the Ghost is in episode 9, right? Ghost is one of the ships in episode 9.
Yep. Yeah, it's in
Somebody
Rogue
came
One,
in my
it's in
store
episode
today.
9. Yep.
Came in my store today talking about Ghost, the ship.
Mhm.
Because I was talking about Ghost the band. It was like, oh, Star Wars, and it was like Satan, and so it was a whole thing. And it was like I was being informed that a Lego set for the Ghost ship from Rebels is rather expensive now.
Wait, which one? Because we have the little mini one. We have the little mini Ghost ship.
I'm talking about. I was informed there's a big one.
Big one? Yeah.
Is it the Lego one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the Lego ones are going to be super exexpensive right now. Like the Razor Crest, all that. Like,
I'm really
very
getting to the point
expensive.
now where I've been talking to my wife about investing in stuff for the store. We literally just like whenever a big stupid set comes out that we know nothing about, like we just know that this. They say that Lego literally is a better investment than gold. That's not bullshit. Like people will pay money for these sets.
They do.
There's a store in our local area. It's called Legos and Minifigs, I think it's and it's like a buy and trade. They also have new sets in there, and you can go in and build. And they will literally take any of your rare stuff and pay you money for it, so that they can turn around and sell it themselves. But it's like it's crazy when you walk in that store. You're just like in a whole new world of collectibles.
I believe it, man. Sidetrack on that. It's one little thing I want to mention. I know we're talking about all things Star Wars, and I'm just like, oh yeah, well guess what? Ghostbusters. So the Ghostbusters Firehouse, I bought that for my nephew a number of years ago for like doing good in school or something like that, or whatever it was. He put it all together, and it looks awesome. He's got it up on his shelf in his room. A local comic store not far from where I'm at got a big giant Lego collection, and they're selling that Lego set in box for like $1,400.
Yep.
Dang.
That's like a 2000 Honda Civic that still works with AC.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Well, I mean, it's
insane.
those Lego sets. I sold my I had the Jurassic Park. No. The Jurassic is it Jurassic World? Like the newer movie with Chris Pratt that came out. They did all those retro Lego sets. Well, I got the one with the T-Rex. I got the set with the T-Rex.
The big one?
The big one. I paid $60 for it at Target. Turned around and sold it just because I have a whole bunch of Lego sets that I got before the kids, and now I know I'm never going to build them, so I'm just kind of purging a lot of things out. I just threw it up on eBay, just hoping to get my money back. That's it. Wasn't expecting anything else.
Yeah.
Close to $200.
Oh my god!
For the one with the T-Rex. For the one with the T-Rex.
I thought you were about to tell me $4,323.73 to a guy in Muskogee.
I wish it was that. I sent it. It went to Florida. So
That's a retiree then.
I do remember that.
Big dinosaur retiree.
And then the Steamboat Willie Lego set I sold for $150 at the toy show. So.
Oh, that's right. We still have that, but we haven't put it together yet.
It's okay. You'll get to it eventually. Get to it eventually. But yeah, the Lego as far and also since Star Wars, we do have the little mini ghosts that came with Hera, I think. We have that little Lego set. But the Lego games, the Lego Star Wars games.
Oh yeah. New one coming out soon.
They're fun. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah. And the new Lego video game looks really good. Like really, really good.
So what's your okay? Since we're talking about Legos, since you're also a semi-pro gamer, do you have a favorite Lego video game, and a least favorite?
For me, not really, because for the Lego video games, I've been very casual with those, so I haven't touched them a lot.
Okay. Fair enough.
So it's more of I've dabbled in them. I haven't like necessarily gone head over heels in them because as you know, I'm more of an FPS kind of guy.
Yes.
So
yes, I do.
Yeah.
Definitely do. Okay. So just for the parents out there, because I've played all the Lego games except for the Disney one, the Incredibles one. That's the only one I haven't played yet. I'll say this: the best one that has the most DLC, the most like replay value and everything is the original Marvel superheroes. The one that has Wolverine and Spider-Man and all the Marvel superheroes. You get the most bang for your buck out of that one. The one to stay away from, the one to throw holy water, throw it in the fires of Mount Doom, to ship it to Stop and Go, is the Indiana Jones Lego game. That game is terrible. It is
really.
It is the worst. Controls are janky. Nothing lines up right. It is as about as worse as the movie The Crystal Skull. It is bad.
That's hilarious.
That sounds pretty bad.
But the funnest one, though, the one that's just a lot of fun to play, Jurassic Park. It's so much fun because you do all the movies, but Lego has a thing about no deaths, no killing, right? And people get killed in the movie, so they edit them to where people don't die, something else happens to them.
Nice.
And
so the guy on the toilet,
clever,
right?
And clever girl. Yeah. And if you can imagine what, just keeping it, kid friendly and PG for those things, it's hilarious. It's so funny because everything happens in the background or it happens with the story, and it's just worth the play.
Yeah.
So just throwing it out there. So your love of Star Wars starts with the Laserdisc, the old school RCA Laserdisc. So out of all the movies right now, which one is your absolute favorite?
We go on movies? Are we also throwing in like TV shows as well, or are we just going straight movies?
Just straight movies right now.
Okay.
I'll do TV. Well, next question will be TV shows. Or series.
if you're doing straight movies, I mean, it has to be Empire Strikes Back. I mean,
Okay.
has always been my favorite by far and away. And I think probably number 2 on that's going to be Return of the Jedi. It's just Empire Strikes Back was just so freaking amazing. Watching it, I still get the feels every time I watch that Hoth scene. It's just like when Vader walks in and you're just like, all right, that dude is about to just jack some people up.
Yeah.
Like, and there's nothing that's given me that type of feeling in another one of the actual movies per se.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Chris, you got a favorite movie?
As far as Star Wars goes,
Yes.
yeah. I'm gonna have to say the Star Wars Holiday Special. I'm kidding. I know that's
The Chewbacca family. Oh.
yeah. When they get together on Boxing Day or whatever the hell it is.
Well, hey, I mean, you get Boba Fett in one of the animated ones, right? So
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. No, honestly, man. In the interest of information, I am what you would call a fair weather Star Wars fan. I don't.
You're casual. That's fine.
I don't have an impassioned. Opinion about anything Star Wars outside of the fact that I love original content and I like stories. I like adventures. I like swashbuckling. I like, I'm not a big fan of incest or anything, but outside of that, like there's some really good stuff in Star Wars. Yep. I'm kidding. I know it was a, whatever. Like,
kissed your sister. Yeah.
Yeah. Gross. You're so nasty. No, it was fun. Like I honestly though, if I picked one, I would consistently watch all the time. I would have to say it's probably also Empire Strikes Back.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. Fair enough.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Come on.
Up until a few years ago, this would have been a three-peat. This would have been a sweep for that choice. No. No, for some reason, I just really enjoy Rogue One. I really like Rogue One.
That's a good call. Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. That would be my runner-up too.
I mean, I like the fight scenes, K2SO. I mean, all of it's a lot of fun for me.
K2's a great droid.
He is. He really is. Yeah. He really is. So, let's jump in the TV series then. Like this would include cartoons as well. Ooh. What's your favorite TV series? This can include Disney Plus. This can include the cartoons, the shorts.
I don't know if I can pick because what's hard is like when I think about Clone Wars, I think about all the epic parts in Clone Wars, like when Anakin almost freaking force chokes Fox through the glass because they're holding Ahsoka and she's being framed right now. Like, he's about to just go dark side right there. Or when he fights Barriss, when he finds out that she was the one that betrayed Ahsoka, or the many times that he fought Dooku and the time that he thought Obi-Wan died. Like, there's just so many good things in Clone Wars. And then you got the Bad Batch, and it's just, there's so much to pick.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, if I had to pick one, I think I would say the one that feels the best for new fans and old fans is The Mandalorian. So I'd have to go with that because it's just classic Star Wars, very Western styled, kind of good versus evil, out in space, lots of new places you haven't seen, new characters, So for me, I would probably have to say The Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. Hey, it's a good choice. I mean, it's a good show that brought a lot of people in to the Star Wars universe. I know Chris, as a casual, I mean, I know you watch some of the cartoons and the stuff like that. So do you have a favorite yet, or?
I started watching Clone Wars. I haven't watched any Rebels.
Okay.
I need to, honestly, it goes back to like when I consume most of my media is either with my wife because it's a thing that married couples do. They watch TV together, and then or it's like me at my laptop working and I'm listening / watching stuff. So I found that was a huge mistake when it came to watching Clone Wars and stuff like that because they get all back and forth about it. It gets all memento on me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like, oh, remember that 3 episodes ago when we mentioned this? Well, here's the whole story about that. Like, fuck, okay. And then you have to remember.
You have to watch it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the thing that's so good about like all of the stuff we have now with the animated shows and the Mandalorian is like
Mhm.
it's just good story.
It
And
is.
my wife, she was like, "What did you turn me into?" Because the other day when we were watching some Star Wars stuff, she was like, "Wait, is this canon?" And she looked at me, and I was like,
Nerd.
What have I done to you? Yeah, And she loves it now. Like she knows the canon and things like that. The boys talk to her
Nerd.
about. Yeah, it's just good story, So people
It
relate
is.
to good story. So,
It is.
Scruffy nerf herder.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely is. I mean, there's a lot of content, and yeah, it's a good time to be a Star Wars fan. For my favorite shows, I've got to go Rebels. There's something about Rebels that's just fun to watch, and we've watched Rebels. I mean, we've watched Bad Batch 3 times, and it was good. And Clone Wars, that's a lot of episodes. That's a lot of seasons, and a lot of those episodes feel just like filler. Didn't really do anything much. Didn't really do much, but I did enjoy the newsreel, like the World War II newsreel intro. Previously on Star Wars, they have in this battle of 13,000 troops fell, but to the victory of the prawn. That was really cool to see or to hear. But I got to go Rebels. It was just the Chopper, Hera, Chopper, Kanan. That felt like a family. That felt like a family.
Ahsoka,
yes,
yep.
Like Clone Wars. What Clone Wars did was when I went back and watched it, seeing the bonds between the Jedi and the clone trooper generals and the commanders and all that was great. But Rebels just felt like a family show.
Oh yeah, especially look at Zeb's story, man. So
yes, Zeb's story.
That's the big wolf-looking guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He was originally designed to be the Wookiees.
Yeah, that was him.
Oh, okay, that was a McQuarrie thing. See, I'm not completely clueless on this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's Rebels is great, and it starts off a little rough. Like the first 2 episodes do start off a little rough.
Yeah,
but once you get into it and you start seeing people drop in and drop out, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun,
and all the stuff that Filoni's doing, he's pulling in all of that from Clone Wars and Rebels and all of it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you can tell him and John. What's his name?
Favreau.
John Favreau. These guys. I feel like we're just watching them play with the toys in the backyard. You know what I mean? They literally have the coolest damn backyard you could ever play with your toys in.
Yep. And they got all the accessories, insane. All the vehicles, all the play sets, all everything.
Well, their dad's a lawyer, and their mom is a stay-at-home mom. He doesn't pay attention to her. They're going to get divorced in 10 years. But you know what? 2 Christmases. That means a lot of Star Wars toys.
Yeah.
I'm saying, come on.
I tell people all the time that like Dave Filoni, because now he's the head guy, like all story goes through him, right?
Yes.
I tell people all the time, Dave Filoni is literally the Padawan learner to George Lucas. Like he sat under him for years for Clone Wars and the meetings that they had every day and every week. And if you look at some of the behind the scenes footage and stuff like that, where George is talking about whatever it would be, right to his right is Filoni doing exactly what Dave's doing right now. He's listening and he's doodling and drawing all of these things that they're thinking out.
Yes,
like he created Ahsoka. And it's just so cool to see that, man. To see someone that has all the lore, knows all the knowledge, literally was the Padawan learner to the Jedi Master of Star Wars, now gets to take over as the Grand Master,
Yeah. And how many people are jealous of that guy? You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. But the thing is he's just such a good guy, nice guy that you can't help but like him,
Sure.
Yeah, that's very true. That is very true. And it's cool to see like all the stuff and all the toys that were made from the movies that were made to sell to kids start popping up in the shows.
Yep.
To start showing up. So so that way, if you got the cheap toy that that nobody bought because it was like a side character that was cut from the movie, guess what? It's going to show up in Clone Wars, or show up in Rebels, or it'll show up in Mando, or show up in Book of Boba Fett. They're showing up, and it's really cool to be Star Wars fans. So it's
Although I gotta admit, I was a little let down that Jennifer Beal did not do a flash dance in that bar.
Not yet. Hey, we're only halfway through the episode.
There's still
halfway through the season. We're halfway through the season.
Yeah.
She's a Twi'lek girl on a Saturday night. Yeah, dude, come on. You gotta have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to have something for her. I mean, come on.
I mean,
mean,
at least they had Max in there. They had Max.
Yeah,
Hit
they
it,
had Max.
Yeah, hey, dude, talk about the freaking to shout out Colt 45, the Joe Grizzly of the Star Wars universe. Max Rebo.
Yeah.
Max Rebo has seen some shit, has he
He
not?
has. I mean, think about
And dude, he survives everything.
Yeah.
Like if I'm Max Rebo, I'm a confident son of a bitch. It's just like nothing phases me. I'm like, oh look, another gunfight. Who cares?
you know
what
why?
I mean? Like
You
You
got
know
out
why?
there, man.
You know why? An elephant never forgets.
he's yeah. Well, and he's such a sad elephant. He's so blue.
Ding dong.
Anyway.
He drinks that blue milk. He
Yeah.
drinks that blue
Oh,
milk.
gross. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max Rebo, he's in there, and like the only other surviving band member with them. They went from like a 6-person team to like 2.
Yeah.
So
Amen.
they went from Slipknot to the White Stripes.
Or you know what? Maybe there's only so many left because Max Rebo keeps selling the other guys up the river. Like we're looking for Max. Like he's pointing at one of the guys with the flute. He's like that guy.
He pushes him out of the way.
Shoot
He
that
just
son of a
pushes
bitch,
him.
Yeah.
You're home. Pushes him.
Hey, where's that green soul singer lady with the snout from the extended edition? I didn't see her in this episode. I'm just
Well,
saying.
she was the first one to get pushed. She was the first one to get pushed.
Exactly. He was like, get the fuck out of here. Right into the Sarlacc pit.
The Sarlacc pit. He just pushed her overboard.
Oh.
I can see Max Rebo like telling her, "Hey, what's that over there? Is that a coin?" She looks, pushes her off the boat.
Boop.
He's like, is
The
that
other
Ray
band
Charles?
members-
She's like, what? Ah.
The other band members, what happened? Oh, she quit. She took her pay and left.
She went to the Sarlacc pit.
moon.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She's gone.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
She
that
was
definitely
the hive of the hive of scum and villainy.
Yep.
She was CG. That's all that mattered.
Oh yeah.
She was just CG.
That's
So-
extended edition bullshit.
Yeah. Well, so I got to ask Sanook, because as a major Star Wars fan as you are, what are your thoughts? Or whenever Lucas released the digitally enhanced Star Wars trilogy back in theaters with the added scenes, the added characters, and the added just special effects. I'm using quotations for special effects because those did not age good at all. They did
See,
not.
Ooh.
I know people are like, Lucas can do no wrong, right? But for me, I'm like, sometimes I think the flaw that George has is he tries too hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes he just tries too hard, because you think about most of the movies that he did still hold up really well today because they were just cutting edge technology that they used and the stop motion they used and things like that.
Yes.
They're even going back to some of those things just because they work so well, practical graphics, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think all the extra stuff, some of it's cool, some of it not so much. Like it just feels like he wanted to do something cool with the tech that he could use now, and so he tried a little too hard. Not necessarily saying it's a bad thing, because anytime you can help fund future Star Wars movies, I'm okay with it, you know? Like, oh, it came in the theaters again. You're going to go watch it again? Yeah, it helps fund Star Wars. So I'm going to do that. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he kept up with the Joneses, but I mean, I guess if he didn't do that, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about, Mandalorians and Rebels and Choppers and everything else, right?
I mean, look at what it led to now with like the Mandalorian. They're doing almost all of it in a studio that's set up with basically a huge,
that's mind blowing to me.
Like TV screen almost, where it looks so real. The actors say they don't even know where it begins and ends. Yeah, because it looks so real and it's immersive, and they can control. Like as someone that does video editing and someone that like does that as my job, like having no like content and production.
Yeah.
The fact that you can control your lighting to the nth degree is amazing.
Yes.
For everything that you want to do. Like anything, this as an artist. Like it's like lighting is huge.
It is.
And it's like the fact that they can do that and bring in props and build a set on there and then build out all the assets around it. And they even like, because I've been saying this for years, but like if people want to look and see where technology is going and where the cutting edge technology is, look in gaming. I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry that dwarfs the Hollywood industry, and all the content and all of the talent and all of the tech is in gaming. And that's what Jon Favreau did. That's what he used for The Lion King. He used Unreal Engine. He used it for The Mandalorian. They're using it for Boba Fett.
Yep.
The fact that he's smart enough to use that now. Look what we get with Star Wars. Like we get these amazing worlds that feel so real.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. The gaming world, building stories and building graphics and everything that pretty much outshines Hollywood. On the flip side of that, when we finally do get a video game movie, they're usually not that good.
They always suck. Yeah,
they're not that good.
Yeah. Where is the disconnect here?
Yeah, it's like, what happened?
The writers.
That's true.
I think part of it too is like some of it's hard to translate to the big screen, so they have to be a little more creative.
Or you could just be simplistic. I mean, the original Mortal Kombat movie is great. That's one of my favorites. Is the original Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah,
it's simple, has a simple storyline. It makes sense. Then you have the sequel, Annihilation, and you're like, why? Why?
I thought the new Mortal Kombat was pretty good.
It happened. It happened.
Yeah. Well, now some of the characters I didn't like, but
yeah, exactly. It happened.
But yeah.
Well, I mean, the new Mortal Kombat movie. Why did you have to bring Goro in at the very beginning? Save him for the sequel. Save Goro for the sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, you know what? Book of Boba Fett did a better Goro in the desert scene.
Yeah.
Did a better Goro.
True, yeah.
That's true. That's true.
So I'm just gonna say that. New Goro sucks. Star Wars Goro, better.
Awesome.
Much better. Yeah. 5 stars. 4 arms, 5 stars. Better.
Oh my god.
No head.
No head. He lost his head. It happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'll agree with you on that because look at the newest Halo game. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
The story, Halo, the full Halo storyline, the universe and everything. It's good. It has its bumps. It has its games that are kind of like Halo 5. Yeah. But overall, it's a good, solid universe that just keeps going. My only complaint about Halo 5 is that they advertised one story, then when you play, you get a completely different story.
Yeah.
So
I think the biggest flaw too is people would have accepted Halo 5 a little more if that fight between him and Chief was just kind of like, come on now, dude.
Yeah.
This is a Spartan 2. He would basically break in half the Spartan 4s. Like,
yes,
break them in half,
He would. It's Chief. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's Chief. But I mean, the only really saving point for Halo 5 for me was Nathan Fillion as Buck. I mean, that's that's it. That's really it. I mean, I bought a few of the figures from Halo 5, but the only ones I didn't open were Buck because I'm hoping to get that autographed one day, and Chief because I want to get that autographed too. So
that would be dope.
Well, and I'm really interested to see how this Halo TV show is going to translate because the trailer looks really good.
Good. The trailer's not out yet, is it?
The teaser.
The teaser is. Yes, the teaser is. Yeah, but
the trailer's Sunday. Yeah.
Yes, Sunday.
Yeah.
And speaking of Halo, on this week's episode of Book of Boba Fett,
I was wondering if you were if that was the segue.
So, there's a segue
you didn't know they were tied together.
There's a segue in that happened.
I don't know the name of the planet. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but that was old established lore. That particular.
Yeah, old established lore that it was suddenly brought to light as soon as Halo came out this year.
Like extended universe? Like we're talking about like Dark Horse and Del Rey books or what?
No, I think it's an actual there is some planets that are like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But
when it showed up on the screen, I'll turn them off and I go, oh.
I mean, I thought it was very cool the way they did it. Yeah.
So here's what happened. Awesome. So here's what happened. We're watching it. The wife walks by and she sees that. She goes, "Oh, is that the new Halo trailer you're excited about?" I'm like, "No, this is Book of Boba Fett."
Yeah.
This is. She was like, "Oh, that looks like Halo." I'm like, "No, yeah, it does. It does look like Halo."
Yeah.
Touché.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It definitely does. But yeah, that was a kind of a throwback moment when we saw that. I'm like, "Huh, that looks like Halo." And then the wife says that, and Gwen, daughter's like, "Yeah, that reminds me of Halo." So, and then we saw that thing today, the little meme that's been going around. Star Wars like, "Hey, Halo, can you copy your homework?" Sure, just don't make it look the same. And it has both pictures side by side. Yeah, the Halo ring and that planet.
Man,
so
yeah,
that's awesome.
I think in Star Wars lore, there's quite a few things like that. I mean, look at Cloud City.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of I think similarities because it's both sci-fi.
True. But I
yeah.
mean, I was waiting for those drums to pick up and start
Oh, yeah.
dunk, 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 to when
Oh,
that scene
man.
started happening.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's good. So let's talk some Book of Boba Fett. We've kind of danced around actually talking about it. So, as a character that's had mystery for decades, this is a character
Yeah.
that pretty much he had the Wolverine origin. You never really knew his origin.
Yep.
He's a badass character that people love, one of the favorites, one of the top ones, but nobody knew his history. Nobody knew really anything about him until we got episode 1 and 2, where we saw that he's a clone. And I
Yep.
remember that made a lot of people upset. That definitely made a lot of people upset. But the Book of Boba Fett is kind of doing a good job at bringing up his history and kind of doing the backstory. So what are your thoughts as a Star Wars purist? What are your thoughts on this?
So I am on the side where I'm really glad that they're giving him some backstory, and I know where they're going with this. I don't know how deep you want to get into these theories.
We could get deep. If you have a theory, throw it out.
But yeah, I mean,
balls deep, man. It's fine.
Because you know what's going to happen? It's most of this is going to go over my head anyways. So go ahead and do it.
What we have to realize is the Book of Boba Fett is really going to be a bridge, if you will, to Mandalorian season 3, because the way that Boba Fett is going to, I believe, have a very integral part in helping reestablish the new Mandalorians.
Mm-hmm.
So, some back history with stuff that's in Legends, that's not canon, that's slowly becoming canon. Go and read the old Dark Horse comic, Jango Fett Open Seasons. I think it's like 4 issues. Super easy to read, really quick read, but it gives you a ton of history. Excuse me, gives you a ton of history about House Vizsla, and the start of the Mandalorian Civil War, and Jaster Miriel, who was the leader of the true Mandalorians. Basically, he was Mandalore, which is the leader of the Mandalorians. And so it talks about how this house and this clan, House and Clan Vizsla, fought against Jaster Miriel. And in that process of starting that, they had a battle on Concord Dawn. The journeyman protector of Concord Dawn was Jango Fett's father. When they were hunting Jaster Miriel, when Vizsla was, he came across a young Jango, beat him up, took his father hostage, ends up killing his father as he's running away. As Jango's running away, trying to, not die, he runs into Jaster. Jaster takes him in, protects him. He starts to learn how to fight and train under Jaster. He ends up, as a kid, faces Vizsla and shoots him in the head and thinks he's dead. And so they're like, okay, the Mandalorian Civil War is over. I think we're good. So basically, Jango is a foundling, raised in the Mandalorians, gets his own armor, all this really cool stuff, right? That we've kind of seen in Mando season 2 when he gave him the chain code and said, look, this is my father's armor. He fought in the Mandalorian Civil War, blah, blah, blah. Right? Yeah. So some of that's becoming canon. Later on, they find out that Vizsla is still alive because Vizsla is Death Watch, right? They want the more ancient Mandalorian code, which is basically they want to rule the galaxy with an iron fist, right? This is like old lore. The new Mandalorians are more kind of like what you see in Clone Wars, right? Where you kind of see like with Obi-Wan and the others when they come in and they're wanting to be more of a neutralist, less warrioristic, and more of a like Jaster was, which is basically bounty hunting. You're bounty hunting and cleaning up the galaxy. That's what the new Mandalorians were, or the Mandalorians. So after this big battle, he ends up getting betrayed. Jaster does, and gets killed by Vizsla's men. Jango seeks out revenge. Eventually, as he gets set up during this plot, the Jedi come in because the governor had sided with Vizsla. And the governor calls in the Jedi saying, hey, this Mandalorian group is killing civilians and all this stuff. And they weren't. The leader of the Jedi that come to neutralize them is none other than Count Dooku. And he brings a bunch of other Jedi. Kind of a long story short, Jango gets back to his camp to see almost all the other friends of his Mandalorians killed. He takes on and kills 5 Jedi with his bare hands. Like that's how freaking good Django is, right?
Okay.
Where it's almost at the end, it's basically Dooku and him. He's taken captive. He's enslaved by the governor, put on a slave ship for years, breaks out when pirates hit the slave ship. I'm going really fast, by the way, guys.
That's fine.
And
That's fine, yeah.
comes back to the governor's palace and steals back his armor. And you'll notice in Clone Wars, there's a reference about that. They're like, Jango Fett, we don't know how he got that armor. He stole it. He's nothing more than just a common thief and bounty hunter. Well, actually, if you go by legends, he's not. He's a true Mandalorian that stole his armor back, got disillusioned with the Mandalorians, and became more of just a bounty hunter.
Yeah. Okay.
Fast forward a little bit. Dooku remembers him and says he's going to make the perfect clone template because he is basically a Jedi killing machine. And in this conversation they have where they're agreeing to terms, he says he wants an unaltered clone. And Dooku is like, I'm actually really surprised you're this sentimental and you want a son. He's like, I don't want a son. I want an apprentice that will become the legacy of Jaster Meeril.
Yeah.
So what I think we're going to see, so all of that backstory there, what I think we're going to see here is we're going to see Boba Fett potentially taking up that mantle because on his chest is the signet of Jaster Meeril. That's his clan, right? So I think what we're going to see is, the armor makes a mention in Legends about how the great mythosaur will rise up and help establish the new Mandalorians.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think what's going to happen here is they're going to use all this Legends because they said this only happened in Legends, aka Boba Fett, Jango Fett here. He's got the great mythosaur on his shoulder, on his pauldron. So I think what they're going to have happen is you've already seen him. He said he wants to establish a house with Fennec, his own house, House Fett.
Yeah.
He's going to rise up and he's going to be the person that helps Din Djarin be the true leader of the new Mandalorians and reestablish a Mandalorian base probably on Tatooine and eventually on Mandalore.
Okay.
So
wow.
That's what I think is going to happen. Potentially, I don't think this would happen. I don't think they'll take it away from Din, but I could see Boba Fett wielding the Darksaber and knowing how to use it.
Yeah.
Kind of like almost like it's his legacy to take it from the Vizslas. So you can see the Vizslas, Death Watch, Bo-Katan, all of this come to a head from all this Legends content because Filoni's weaving some of this into the story.
Well, with this last episode with Book of Boba Fett, with basically the Mandalorian episode, we did kind of see Din Djarin getting his Karate Kid Miyagi-Do, learning on with the Darksaber. Training and learning how to use it, all of that. He has to be one with the sword and all. So they're planting the seeds where basically, he's going to be the wielder of the sword. He's going to be the wielder of the saber. And I can definitely see that. His
Kanan and Sabine moment is going to be with Grogu and Luke. I think when he goes to meet Grogu, Luke's going to see it and help train him, like Kanan helped train Sabine when she had the Darksaber in Rebels.
Oh, I can see that. So we're in store for some pretty cool shit then.
So potentially, yeah.
So speaking of Sabine, do you think she's going to show up at the end of Book of Boba Fett as a cameo?
I don't think they're going to be,
or Mandalorian season 3.
I think they might be in the Mandalorian season 3 as a segue into Ahsoka. I think they'll probably use Mando for that to segue into Ahsoka, since there's already an established relationship between Din and Ahsoka. What'll be interesting is how much Luke is going to play a part in some of this. If Luke is going to get to meet back up with Ahsoka, because could you freaking imagine that, where he gets to meet Ahsoka and Ahsoka gets to tell Luke about his dad?
Oh my God. Yeah, dude.
Just that, or even getting to see Ezra, another Jedi. I
was about to say, just imagine the final battle of one of these shows where you have Ezra, Luke, Ahsoka, Boba Fett, Din Djarin, and even Mando Grogu show up to fight the Empire.
Chainmail Grogu. I can't wait to, dude.
I just want Luke and Boba Fett to meet again on the screen, and Boba Fett be like, "What up, sucker? I'm still alive."
Yeah, you thought you killed me, bitch? I've survived a monster sand vagina. You can't stop me.
Yeah. So.
Just because that's going to happen. That's going to happen. They're going to have that big battle moment. They're going to have their Avengers moment with Luke and all them to fight the Empire.
And I think what we may see is when Mando goes to give Grogu the armor, right?
Mhm.
The Beskar armor. I think Luke's going to say, "Hey, like this is going to be one of your training missions. Go with
Now,
Din and help him
I,
out."
I have to ask this though, because when we saw them take that spear and start making reforming it for Grogu,
Yeah,
I saw chain links. I didn't see chain mail. So I
yeah,
think he's giving Grogu some bling. Yeah, I think he's giving him a mythosaur necklace as like a chain
maybe.
to as a memory type thing.
Yeah,
So Grogu's gonna be walking around, Puerto Rican style with that chain on, with that mythosaur hanging around his neck.
Man,
with
if
some
there's not a
bling.
turtleneck involved, it's
yeah.
invalid.
He's gonna
I
have a
mean, I
fanny
was
pack.
thinking like Mithril, like from Lord of the Rings, like he's gonna have like Mithril chainmail.
No, I think he's just gonna have a necklace with a giant pendant in the front with like encrusted diamonds and stuff on it too.
Yeah,
That's just a mythosaur. Then
Yeah.
on the back of
Harwin style.
and then on the back of it, it says Fett's vet on the back.
yeah.
Oh my
That's all it
god.
says.
Oh, and Boba's gonna be riding that Ranker into town when
Oh,
they
he
get
will.
into that battle gate.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Well, he will. He's gonna call him Kong.
He's gonna be the great Mythosaur rising, literally rising
That's
on the
gonna be
back
dope.
of a Ranker. Yeah.
So it's gonna happen. It's destined to happen.
Yeah.
All
I'm
of
on
it.
board for all of this.
And I think that'll like quell some of the people are like, we want more action. I felt like you got so much good action with the Sand People
Mhm.
and him,
Yeah.
like even with this, like, okay, I know everyone that's listening can't see this, but like when you look at the repainted armor on
Yeah.
the side here of Boba Fett's helmet, there's these lines, and they originally were red right here, which signifies revenge. Now they're this new color that signifies remembrance of, or honoring a father or family member.
Yes.
So you can definitely see the transition he had, especially when he had that dream in the desert and he got his gaffy stick
Yeah.
of becoming a scared boy that he was, hiding underneath his helmet and just lashing out and being a bounty hunter, to being someone that wants to establish a house and a name for himself.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
know?
I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
So, one of the questions, or one of the comments I wanted to ask, or one of the things I wanted to ask, is that another podcaster that's a part of the Cross the Stream universe has shown some very much disdain and hate because Star Wars is afraid to leave Tatooine alone for even a season or a movie. They keep going back to Tatooine. Everything's always on Tatooine. How do you feel about them coming back? Basically, them keeping returning to Tatooine.
I mean, I love it because that's kind of like, it's like a staple. It's like Coruscant. Like that would be like complaining, why are you always going back to Coruscant? Well, it's because there's so much tie there with lore,
True.
history. That's where the characters are. So like when I hear that, I'm like, well, why are you fine with everyone being on Coruscant through episode 1 through 3? Like
That's true.
it's
Why
like
is
saying,
Batman always in Gotham?
No.
Why?
No, the other example would be, how come half of Marvel or 90% of Marvel superheroes are in New York?
Yeah, it's like you go to where
Yeah.
the story is, and in this particular point, we're telling the story that's not centered on Coruscant anymore. It's centered in the Outer Rim,
Yes.
because we're building up a bounty hunters. Like Navarro was like way out and like the Outer Rim, and things like that. So it's like you have to go to the places where the story is going to be. So I have no problem with it being on Tatooine. I think there's so much that we never knew about Tatooine that it's kind of nice to get to know all the stuff, like how they got the water through the melons, how there's creatures that are under the ground. We get to see crate dragons, like,
Yeah,
all
true.
this cool stuff.
Yeah, we get to see desert Goros popping up everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Digitally drawn Danny Trejos. It's
Yeah,
magic.
I mean,
Hey,
we
Machete.
got to see Tashi Station. Like
Yeah.
that was in when Boba went and beat the crap out of those bikers.
Yeah.
Like
I know. The whole time I was like, "Watch out for those power converters."
you can
No,
waste time with
God.
your friends when your chores are done.
Well, I mean, I want to see them.
Burn.
I do want to see them go back to Hoth. I've always liked the whole Hoth, the snow thing, and it'd be kind of cool to have like Mando just walking through the snow of the storm of Hoth to go get a target. I think that'd be a really cool visual.
I mean, honestly, I'd like to see Ilum because it still has a huge presence of Empire there, because Ilum eventually, as some of you guys know, becomes basically the new weapon in The Force Awakens. So, But I mean, I'd like to see that planet, honestly. Hoth, I feel like, is more remote in that not many people knew of Hoth,
Mm-hmm.
and that it was kind of like a secret base that shouldn't have been discovered, but was
True.
discovered.
But
So-
wouldn't that be the perfect place for somebody who's running from bounty hunters to hide?
That would be a good place, yes. But there's not much there.
Exactly.
So I don't know where they could hide.
Well, old bases that are no longer used.
True.
Hide in there.
Honestly, and this is a very obscure reference, I would like to see them bring in some stuff. In Rebels, there's a part when Kanan and Ezra go and meet Rex and the other guys, other clone troopers. It's like one of the first episodes, and they're looking for old hidden bases, right?
Yes. Yes.
And Rex says, let me give you a list of some of my hidden bases and even some old Mandalorian bases that no one knows about.
That's true. He did say that.
So I'm like, dude, can you please bring that in there somehow? Like, bring in those old
awesome.
Mandalorian bases, maybe some more coverts that are just waiting,
So, so since when Disney took over Star Wars, they said a lot of the extended canon, a lot of the books, the comics, and all that, the old stuff, no longer was canon anymore.
Right.
Is there a story, a comic book, or a novel that you wish would either be included or get kind of a reintroduction and not a reboot, but like a redesign into the current Star Wars universe?
Filoni. Did you want anything Filoni'd in?
Did you want anything Filoni, like anything from like the old non-canon stuff to get Filoni'd in?
Honestly, the only thing I think I would really want back in, because the EU was kind of like the Wild West of Star Wars, right? It was just all over the map, like everywhere.
It was. And
people kind of always remember it more in nostalgia classes than they remember of, than what they would like to remember it as, because it was not very coherent. It was all over the place with everything. Like even Luke coming to the dark side and things like that. So, Luke clones of Luke and stuff. And so it's just crazy.
And his kids.
Yeah. And honestly, the only thing I would really like to see to become canon, they've kind of made a little bit of it as canon, just like little pieces, is the Dark Horse comic book series of Boba Fett, and just how he tracked Luke down, his encounter he had with Luke and the fight he had with Luke. And then some of the stuff you see with Black Kazanzan and things like that, with him fighting Obi-Wan. Like, I would like to see that. And I think some of that will become canon, because Filoni is really good about that. Now, as far as like games and media like that, I would absolutely love, and I know Filoni would be on board with this because he loves Old Republic. I would love to finally get more confirmation and more fleshed out story about Darth Revan and the Old Republic. Now, we know in The Rise of Skywalker that Revan is mentioned, so he is canon. He is there. So I want to see the real story. We have the story in the games, but I want to see it. I want to see Revan. I want to see Malak. I want to see that old school, super powerful Jedi. Just like in the whole story of the Mandalorian Civil Wars with Revan is amazing too.
Yes.
I mean, and there's ties to the Fett clan in that story as well that most people don't know about, with Cassius Fett,
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Okay, I'll just say this because I was a fan of this. I even read the book. I played the game. I read the book. Shadows of the Empire. Dash Rendar.
Yeah.
I want to see that brought in. I want to see that brought in. That character brought in.
That'd be cool.
Because, I mean, who didn't play that game for the N64? That was like the Star Wars game, the epitome Star Wars game for the N64.
I wasn't good at it, but I played it.
Oh, the speeder bike challenge. I hated the speeder bike a little bit.
Seriously.
What is it with video games and speeder bikes that are super difficult? Battletoads, Shadows of the Empire, anything with a speeder bike is nearly impossible.
Let's bring back Kyle. I think Kyle would be awesome. We see him in some of the Star Wars video games, and
we do.
I think he would be a really good second fiddle to Luke, but I don't know how they would do that with the current lore of how Kylo destroys Luke's temple and things like that. So
is Kyle the guy with the blue paint on his eyes and the dreadlocks? Who's that guy?
No, that's Quinlan Vosk.
Quinlan Voss. Okay.
Yeah. That's funny that I knew who you're talking.
Oh, hey man, I spent many years. I mean, like I said, I may
Yeah.
not be the quintessential nerd fan of all things Star Wars, but
Yeah.
I've seen and picked up enough on it to be like, oh, this. Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, I mean, I would love to see Cal Kestis. Like we saw the BD unit. I mean, it's not necessarily BD1, but I mean, it's almost like they're hinting at like, hey, you may see Cal somewhere. You know,
I want to know more about Gwendolyn Christie's character, the Phasma character.
Oh, Phasma, yes, same here.
What an underutilized opportunity that was. She looked really cool.
She was the Boba Fett of the new trilogy. She was literally the Boba Fett of the new trilogy.
I think, I'm not sure if this is true or not. I'd have to relook it up, but I think her armor was Corellian armor, or basically like the same armor from the Naboo starfighters.
Yeah, they said that she she took down a Naboo starfighter and took the armor as her armor that coated it.
I probably should read that miniseries that Marvel did. I bet I would get a lot of the things I'm wondering about in that miniseries. I
probably will.
Meaning to do that, but I never do. I'm gonna do that this next week, man. I'm gonna pick that up and read that.
Now, I need to get into more of the High Republic. I haven't really read any of that stuff. But I read some of the comics, but I wasn't that interested in the comics. They weren't just really good. Like, but the new Darth Vader comics, the 2017 Darth Vader and the 2021 Darth Vader, really good.
Well, I know that one Darth Vader comic, the one that had the debut of Chewbacca in it, is going up in price.
Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's on everybody's hit list for the last 2 weeks. Everywhere I go, I've got Vader #1. I've got Vader #1. First appearance of Black Casarin.
I think I have that one actually.
I don't have it. I'm not
going to try to eBay right now. Make some money.
Yeah, I wonder how much they are.
You probably could. Yeah, you probably could make some money off that. So we've talked Star Wars. You talked Mandalorians. So who are your favorite characters? If you had your top 3 in the Star Wars universe, who are your top 3 favorite characters?
So if you would have asked me in my younger self, I would have said #1 was Luke Skywalker. But as I've gotten older and I know more of the story, it is absolutely Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay, wait. Which version? Old man or young man?
I mean, it's his whole life. His whole life is phenomenal because he's literally a testament of perseverance. Like,
yeah, that's true.
You think about some of the hardest things he's faced. Like one thing, for example, in Clone Wars, he's sitting there about to have the love of his life killed right in front of him by Darth Maul. And what does he say to Maul? He says, "You can defeat me, but you can never destroy me because it takes strength to resist the dark side." And it's that right there is the biggest like middle finger to Darth Maul, like troll you could ever do. Is like, bro, do your work. You can't defeat me. Like,
it's like, here's how weak you are.
This is it,
spider-legged moron.
And then you fast forward to Obi-Wan in Rebels when he has his final confrontation with Maul, and just the way he talks to him when he's like, "Look what you've become, a rat in the desert," and he's like, "Look what I have risen above." Like, everything that he has gone through is just phenomenal, and how he like puts Maul in his place. And then at the end, when he kills him, he's still sad for him and saying, like, I'm going to heal it. He's not saying I'm going to defeat my enemy. He says, I'm going to heal this old wound, So for me, like, Obi-Wan is like, dude, he's the man. That's why I can't wait for the Obi-Wan series. It's going to be like hour-long shows too, from what I heard. So
you're getting me hyped up for it, man. Because I know they're bringing back Hayden Christensen, which I think that guy got a unfair shake with the gatekeepers.
Oh yeah. But like Obi-Wan, far and away, #1. #2, I'd probably gonna have to say Luke, just because so many things as a kid that I identify as just a kid looking out on the horizon.
Okay.
I want to know if there's more out there than just growing up on the farm and drinking blue milk. And #3, that's a tough one. Maybe Plo Koon or Ahsoka. Either one of those. Plo, because Plo is just such a typical Jedi. Well, no, I'm going to take that back. I'm going to say Kanan.
Okay. Freddie Prinze Jr. That's a good choice.
I like Kanan because now that I think about it, because like his lineage is so cool because his master, Depa Billapa, was trained by Mace.
Mm-hmm.
And Depa Billapa also has ties to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Mace also has ties with Obi-Wan Kenobi. So it's like this full symbiont circle, I guess you could say, in Star Wars speech of, you have this line of succession from Mace and Obi-Wan and Depa Billapa to Kanan,
Okay.
So, and he's very Obi-Wan like in some of his mannerisms and things he does.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's top 3. All right, Chris,
awesome.
What's your top 3?
Again, I want to preface this with that I'm very much on the outside looking in, because I did not expect to hear the name Plo Koon today or Plo Koon. So with that being said, I mean, you are the high-ranking nerd in this 3-man podcast right now.
He is. Right? He's running it today.
Yeah, man. I was not expecting to hear that. It was like
one of the few Jedi that have beat Yoda in a duel.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, and I'm surprised you didn't say anything about Yoda. But then again, I was telling myself as I was listening to your top 3, I was thinking, surely Yoda's going to be on there because he's such an iconic character. But then I started thinking about his stories and things I know, things I've garnered from what I've seen in the movies. That little son of a bitch keeps a lot of secrets, don't he?
Yeah, he does.
Little tight-lipped bastard. There's some shit you should say to people. There's things people should know. Yep. Why aren't you letting people know the things they should know?
Well, maybe he tried telling them, but because of his speech impediment, they didn't know what he was saying. They didn't know what he was saying.
Can you imagine him like trying to order food at Taco Bell?
I think he's. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Burrito, please.
Taco, lettuce, none. Like, what? You don't want any tacos? What the hell are you talking about?
10-piece nuggets I will have. Barbecue sauce you must include. No sweet and sour.
Spicy ranch takeoff.
How do you get so big eating food like this?
Oh God. Okay. So honestly, in all seriousness, oh God.
And chalky milk.
Cinnamon twist. It's a spot it does.
Seagulls poking my head.
The seagulls.
I rode over a log, and that log had a child.
Honestly, again, so that's why I'm going to say these are going to be very basic answers, and I'm okay with that.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I like Yoda because we talk about practical effects. As a kid, Yoda blew my mind because I loved the Muppets. I loved anything Henson, and so when I was old enough to understand that was a Henson thing, I was like, dude, hell yeah. So Yoda all day. Anytime I saw a Yoda toy, even though I didn't even collect Star Wars, I was like, give it to me. Because it was just like it was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Followed very closely by Darth Maul. I think that's another underutilized Sith character.
Yep.
Just his design alone. It kind of, to me, I see Darth Maul before I know they've done a lot of extended stuff with him in like Rebels and Han Solo and Clone Wars and.
I have to tell you something now.
Well, can I just say this first real quick before you go into your story that's going to kill my joke that I'm about to say? What I think happened is whenever Lucas told Filoni to design Darth Maul, that was during Filoni's like Slayer days when he was like listening to Slayer and death metal. And he's like,
cool.
I've got the perfect piece for you. Rain and blood. Okay, go ahead.
So I actually got a chance to do a QA panel at Comic Palooza with Ray Park.
I remember that.
Oh, wow.
And just because he's one of your favorites, I'll tell you the story that he shared. Is that when that scene when he's separated between Qui-Gon and himself with the energy shield?
Yeah,
he's pacing back and forth. So he said that when they were shooting that, George is like, hey, we're going to do this. How can we make this look more menacing? He's like, well, Maul's like a caged animal, right? So how would a caged like tiger or animal respond looking at his prey through like, basically a cage? He would just stare at him and pace back and forth. And so that's what he did. And Lucas loved it. He's like, this is perfect. And so I was just like, I had to tell you that story since you're a Maul
That
fan.
is wicked, dude. Yeah, it
Yeah.
makes me want to go back and just watch. I feel like I'm gonna put on I'm gonna go on Disney Plus after this and just like start watching Star Wars again because
Yep.
I'm getting
Clone
all
Wars,
the Star Wars talk today.
Clone Wars and Rebels. Clone Wars and Rebels.
I need to, man. I need to get on board with that. I feel like
And
I'm
then-
missing the boat.
And every time Maul appears on screen, just put some Slayer on in the background to get that Filoni experience.
And oddly enough, thirdly, which I think a lot of people will say this as well, Boba Fett was always cool to me because of the lore I built in my head as being a Fairweather fan. I'm just like, what is this? Where's this guy been? What was his life like? You know what I mean? Like, and why did he get short shafted in this movie? Like, makes no sense.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly.
So that's a good 3. That's definitely a good 3.
Strong 3. Yeah.
I'm gonna go for mine again. I'm in the same boat as Chris. I'm kind of a fair weather Star Wars fan. I'm not even gonna try to hide it. The only stuff I know is the stuff I've watched with my daughter when she asked me to explain something, and I have to kind of explain what she just saw. So, and I'm going on basically either the character who plays them, the actor who plays them, or the way they look. That's all I'm going on.
Yeah.
So number 3, Captain Phasma. Swindling Christie. She's like a 7-foot tall woman that can throw a sword around and kills dragons. That's awesome. That is great. So she's number 3. And plus her armor is chrome. I mean, if she was alive in Houston during like the late 1990s and she had a chrome car, she would be Queen of Houston. I mean, or Queen of Texas. It'd be great. Chrome everything.
She's the GT Haro bike of stormtrooper soldiers or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, she'd be the shot caller. 26 ladders on her dresser. Yes, sir.
Oh
all of that.
I mean, she took down the Hound. So
all of that.
Yeah, that's true.
She'd be chopping. So that's number 3.
Oh my God.
Number 2, again, because of this game, this is the only introduction that has Star Wars I had was that game, Shadows of the Empire. So I gotta say Dash Rendar, just because I played the game a lot. I played the hell out of that game, and I never got past that stupid speeder bike part where you had to speed bike through the town to outrace the gang. No, I hated that. It was garbage. I would rather fight that stupid IG-88 droid 5 times over than do that stupid bike race again. But Dash Rendar was always a pretty cool character because he looked like Cable from X-Force. All he needed was a Deadpool to jump across with them, and it'd be Cable and Deadpool. But Dash Rendar was the perfect Stonewall Cable-esque character for that time.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, you got plus he shot Wampas in the first stage. That's awesome. You got to shoot and kill Wampas. That's even better. So yeah, Dash Rendar's number 2. Number 3. Number 3. I have to go. I got to go Chopper. That little droid Chopper. I mean, if anything,
I need to know more.
Chopper is my spirit animal, and once you watch Rebels, Chris, you will understand why.
I love
Chopper.
him. Yeah.
Chopper is the best. He's like an old man trapped in like a little droid's body.
Just the way you said that, I'd imagine he puts up with nobody's shit and he ain't got time for none of this.
He doesn't. He is the sassiest robot you'll ever see. I mean, if you thought R2 had a potty mouth, Chopper like exceeds him by tenfold.
And he's like a freaking axe murderer too, man. He goes after some people. It's like
what?
Yeah, like he cuts them down, dude. He doesn't play.
That's awesome.
He is insane. He is. If he took the brains of Bruce Campbell, mixed with Clint Eastwood, and then mixed with who's another crazy person, Al Bundy, and put him in a bot, you would get Chopper.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
The bravado alone is just amazing.
Yeah, it is. Again, once you start watching Rebels, you'll understand. It all makes sense. Yeah. Definitely all makes sense. So
I'm excited, man. I'm excited to get into it.
Oh, it's definitely worth it. It is definitely worth it. So we're hitting our over hour mark with everything. So Wade, one more question. We know a bunch of the shows that are coming out. We got The Acolyte. We've got Obi-Wan. We know Ahsoka's going to get her own show. What new show, series, or movie are you excited for the most that's coming out?
I mean, no question, Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan?
Yeah. I mean, close second is Ahsoka. But, like, I just want to see what Obi-Wan did kind of protecting Luke all those years. See if
Mhm.
maybe he was hunted down by some of the the Inquisitors and things like that. Maybe he has another rematch with Vader, things like that. Like I want to see
man.
that story, man. I think everybody does.
Well, you know what's
Oh,
going to
man.
happen? You know what's going to happen? They're going to go back to Tatooine for that whole show.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if he's going to go off world because he can't let people know that Luke's there, you know?
is true.
So like,
That is true.
Ah.
I mean, we in the
Careful.
Dark Horse comics, we know that there was many times that he protected Luke throughout his life, just kind of shadowing him. So it's going to be interesting how they do this.
He definitely did. He definitely did.
Yeah.
So, follow-up question. Is there a character that you think should get a show or a group of people that you think should get a show?
Oh yeah, I
Live
think
action or animated?
I think we definitely need to see a younger Luke Skywalker, and we know in the lore that he was going out finding all kinds of Jedi like artifacts in old Jedi temples and things like that. So I would love to see him do that.
So post return.
Yeah, I mean, we need to see Luke in his prime, right?
Yeah.
Like that's something we need to see. I think also it'd be really, really, really cool to have a Darth Vader series with the Inquisitors and them hunting down other Jedi and things like that. Like make it a little more dark-sidey dark, and the Inquisitors going around and hunting people and killing Jedi. I mean, because a lot of people don't know, but that's how Ahsoka got her new lightsaber with the white crystals. She killed the sixth brother, which is one of the Inquisitors.
Yeah.
And healed his crystals, and so they turned white, and she constructed her new lightsabers with him.
Yes.
But yeah, like we need to see more stuff like that. I think if we had something with the Inquisitors, with the Grand Inquisitor, little stuff that happens after Order 66, like stuff with Cal Kestis and stuff like that would be amazing.
That does sound awesome.
I'm just gonna say this: I want a Phasma series to explain Phasma, because first of all, she's giant.
Yeah.
Second of all, that armor. How did she get the armor? We need to see something of her coming up through the ranks of the Empire to get that armor.
Yeah,
there has to be a good story involved there.
I mean, yeah, with the current like climate of like fandom and stuff like that, where we're seeing a lot of female empowerment. You know, I think she's ripe for a backstory that could even, you know, give her the tortured, you know, like, was she really wanting to be in her role with the you know what I mean? Like, or was she a reluctant participant? I mean, like, yeah, like, I mean, you know, I think Finn was a totally missed opportunity because they got different. I think Finn was supposed to be a Jedi. I mean, all signs pointed to that, so I think they dropped the ball big time on that one.
Yeah, he was.
You know, so I think we're primed for a lot of good storytelling for some characters that were vaguely introduced, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I kind of agree with Aaron. I think a Captain Phasma, 6 episode series or whatever. Even Finn, no offense to Boyega, but what's he doing? Like, I mean, get this money. There's so much money being thrown around. Even if it's just a fiscal thing. Like, it just.
I think he was so burned now he won't ever do Star Wars again. I think he was just so burned.
Yeah. But I mean, he liked that toy money though. He enjoyed that toy money.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he does.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to see. Yeah, I definitely want to see like a Phasma show to see her like coming into the Empire, her rising through the ranks and getting the armor, doing all of that. There has to be something good there.
I also want to see the Bad Batch. I want to see them kind of like where they're at, where they went, you know, post Empire and all that stuff. You know,
well, you know, Hunter probably went back to the jungles of South America when he was training with Rambo.
I mean, we know Rex was in Return of the Jedi, so
yeah,
those guys were around.
They were. They definitely were.
They were younger than Rex, because Rex was one of the first clones. So.
Yes, that is true. That is very much true.
Yeah.
So as you start wrapping up here, Wade, I just want to thank you for coming on. I know we talked the entire thing of Star Wars. We didn't even get into the stuff we talked about in the beginning. Like, hey, we all watched Witcher. We liked it. It was great. But we can get into that next time. That is fine, because The Witcher is a great show. Definitely go check it out. Definitely go check it out. But thank you so much, Wade. Where can people find you on the internet? Start plugging your stuff.
If you want to follow us on Twitter, we get at Mulehorn Gaming. We also do a Star Wars podcast called the Bendu Podcast and Halo Infinite Podcast.
Ooh, okay.
Halos. Okay. So are you also on Instagram?
Yes, we're on Instagram too at Mulehorn Gaming.
See, there you go. See, I remember you from Mulehorn Gaming Podcast.
Yep.
When in doubt, blow it up. That's what
right.
I remember. That's what I
right.
remember.
It may make a comeback. It's on hiatus right now, but we'll see.
Well, if it comes back, and if you want to talk to people who don't really get to play a lot of games, but always remember the good times of the old games, we are possibly available. I'm just
there you
throwing
go.
that out there. Just throwing that out
Oh
there.
man, yeah, I'm on board for that. Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, so Chris, where can they find you with your comic book arts?
As always, I have a Twitter I don't use at Lee Foreman, so feel free to sit in that wasteland. But I do have an Instagram at Chris Foreman Artist, and Facebook. Just search my name. I forget what my handle. I think it's like Internet Skills or some crap, like Facebook.com/Internet Skills, because I watched Napoleon Dynamite the day before I made my Facebook profile. So. But definitely, I mean, I'm Googleable. Not trying to toot one's own horn or anything, but I'm not that hard to find. So
that's good.
Yeah.
And if you're on Instagram and on Facebook, look for Front Row Negative. We are all around. We're on Instagrams. We are on Facebook. We have a YouTube channel that I post at least once every 2 weeks. Try to at least. But I did get a new package in. I'll be doing an unboxing of that soon and posting that up as well. So follow us there. We have merch. Go to TeePublic or Redbubble. Find us on there by doing the search for Front Row Negative. We have shirts. We have other stuff too. I think, Wade, you have one of my shirts. I think you have the Mando shirt.
I do. It's one of my faves.
Yeah. So yeah, you gotta have a shirt. You gotta have a cool shirt.
Yeah.
And get it now before I get that cease and desist, because I have a feeling that I finally made the Disney radar again with Moon Knight, and I feel that C&D coming soon. It's looming over me like the moon in the sky is right now. As I go, that's your sketch card, Chris? Yeah, he's drawing Moon Knight. That's awesome. Yeah, that's more of my future coming right there too. So yeah, go buy a shirt. Go support indie artists and support our podcast. And yes, please. And if you made this far, give yourself a pat on the back. Thank you for listening. Give us a subscribe. Give us a like and a follow and a review if you want to. But until next time, I'm your host, Aaron.
And I am your ever faithful co-host, Chris.
Yes. And we thank Wade for jumping on for this episode and talking Star Wars.
Thank you.
And as always, just remember, don't unfriend, only unfollow. And when in doubt, blow it up. I have to throw that in there because that is a good saying.
Yeah.
That is a good saying. And I forget Alex's quote from Secondary Heroes. I forget what his quote is, but go listen to his podcast to figure out what that is. So thanks, guys. And until next time, fuck ponchos.